Amen, amen. If you love the Lord, just say amen.
Amen.
Put your hands together for God in this place, because He is worthy to be praised.
All right.
I learned a long time ago, if you serve a mediocre God, He would deserve mediocre praise. If we served an average God, He would deserve average praise. But last I checked, we served the great God, and He is greatly to be praised. And so today, this afternoon, this evening, whatever you like to call it, we're going to give Him the praise that He is so richly due, because He is the great God. Amen. And listen, we want to say welcome to the globe. Amen. We thank you all for coming to spend time out of your schedule to come and to be with us. And we are honored and elated to have you all here on today. And listen, let me tell you, there's some things that are happening with the globe. We are grateful because there's some things that are transpiring even in our own midst and in our own development. How God is doing what He is doing is just miraculous to me. Because I learned a long time ago that His ways are not our ways and His thoughts are not our thoughts. And many times we can't figure out how He's doing what He's doing, but it's not our job to figure it out. It's just our job to believe that He's going to do it. All right. And that's where I am now. And if you look over here to the left, to my left, you will see a great musician. I like to say one of the greatest musicians in all of the region, if you will. You know, I'm going to say this side of the Mississippi, you know, but I didn't get to the other side. But see, he is one of the greatest. He is none other than Desi Collins. And Desi is the musician for the globe. All right. Somebody ought to clap about that. We are grateful he is here today, and he has, we've been talking for a while. And then he's like, well, listen, he called me the other day and said, when am I supposed to start? And I'm like, you start on Sunday. So we are elated. We are grateful to God for just the move that God is doing for us. I mean, Desi even played so well. Pastor D. Scott Christian actually sounded halfway decent, didn't he? Yeah. He was just saying. So, you know he did pretty good. So we are grateful for our new musician, for Mr. Desi Collins, for coming to join us here at the Globe. And then we also now have our own video producer, who's actually in the back, and that is Mr. Jonathan Cato, and we are grateful to him for coming to be a part of what we're doing here at the Globe, and then many other different ventures and things that we will be doing. So you will see a lot more of him. Well, maybe not see him because he's behind the camera, but you will begin to know who he really is. You'll be able to see the work that he has done. Is everybody feeling all right today?
Yes.
Is everybody feeling good? Listen, because the hour is 6 o'clock and that's the time we start, then I don't want to hold you too long, because I understand some people have to go to work tonight. Some people have to get up and get themselves ready for work in the morning. I get that, I understand it, so we're not going to hold you too long. What I do want you to do is, while you're thinking about it, get your best offering together, get it together. We're going to take it up at the end of the service, but get your best offering together for that. Let God marinate on what He's going to do for you, and you get to stew in what you want to give. But I will tell you, thousand is spelled THOUSANDS, if that's what you want to do when you are writing your check. So, glory to God. Amen. Let's go to the Word. Let's go ahead and get into the Word. Can we do that? Can we get into the Word of God tonight? Genesis chapter number 36. I'm sorry, Genesis chapter number 37. My fault. Genesis chapter number 37. For those of you that have your Bibles, turn with us there.
All right.
Genesis chapter number 37. and for your hearing tonight. I'm not going to try to read the whole thing, but I do need you to see where we are and where we're going.
All right.
So we'll have to read a little bit of it to you. But Genesis chapter number 37, we're going to look at verse number 3. Genesis chapter 37, looking at verse number 3. And then we're going to go down and skip around to verse number 18 through 24. And then we're going to move to chapter 45. All right. Verses 9 through 11. But Genesis chapter 37 right now, looking at verse number 3. Now Israel loved Joseph more than any of his other sons, because he was a son of his old age, and he made him a robe of many colors. Go down to verse number 18. Verse number 18. They saw him from afar, and before he came near to them, they conspired against him to kill him. All right. They said to one another, "Here comes this dreamer. Come now, let us kill him and throw him into one of the pits. Then we will say that a fierce animal has devoured him, and we will see what becomes of his dreams." But when Reuben heard it, he rescued him out of their hands, saying, "Let us not take his life." And Reuben said to them, "Shed no blood. Throw him into this pit here in the wilderness, but do not lay a hand on him, that he might rescue him out of their hand to restore him to his father." So when Joseph came to his brothers, they stripped him of his robe, the robe of many colors that he wore, and they took him and threw him into a pit. And the pit was empty, and there was no water in it. Travel with me to Genesis chapter 45. Genesis chapter 45, verse number 9 through 11. Verse number 9 says, "Hurry and go up to my father and say to him, 'Thus says your son Joseph, God has made me Lord over all Egypt. Come down to me. Do not tarry. You shall dwell in the land of Goshen, and you shall be near me, you and your children and your children's children, and your flocks and your herds, and all that you have. There I will provide for you, for there are yet 5 years of famine to come, so that you and your household and all that you have do not come to poverty." That is the word of God for the people of God, and we say thanks be to God. For just a few moments, I want to talk to you from this subject, from brokenness to restoration. From brokenness to restoration. My brothers and my sisters, when we actually stop and recollect over our own lives, it would be pretty wise to say that all of us have experienced a level of brokenness at one time or another in our lives.
All right.
We have all gone through some type of situation that has caused us to be where we feel like we have been defeated. We feel like that there is something in our life that's just not going the way that it is supposed to go. All right. We are in a situation where we really don't necessarily understand why we have to deal with certain things.
All right.
We are in a situation where we don't necessarily understand why it is that the further ahead that I feel like I'm going, the further behind I really am. And the problem is we are actually in a state of brokenness. All right. Brothers and sisters, when we are in a state of brokenness, we find that the problem comes in where we really and truly are searching for a way to get out. We're looking for some way that we can actually be restored. We're looking for a way that is going to move us from the state of brokenness that we're in into a state of restoration. And brothers and sisters, what happens many times, we begin to follow all winds and all kinds of doctrine. Even though they're not necessarily steeped in accuracy, we begin to follow these things because it looks like and it sounds like that this is what we're actually looking for. And the problem is, this is not what we're looking for. And so we begin to try to find what we're looking for, and then we begin to hold on to these things and to these people. And so you'll find somebody that will tell you, because you're in a financial situation, a financial state of brokenness, you will go ahead and you will listen to these people that will tell you, if you sow your $200 right now, all right. Somebody ought to be with me right there. Right, if you go ahead and you sow your $200 right now, which, by the way, that's your rent money or that's your car payment that you got coming up, or part of your car payment. But if you go ahead and you sow that right now, in 7 days, God is going to bypass seed time and go directly to harvest. And so what happens is you get all beside yourself because you feel this is my way out. This is my way to restoration. So what you do is you go ahead and you sow this seed of $200 because that's what they told you to do. And now here it is. It's day number 8.
All right now.
Day number 8 has shown up and you are no better off than you already were. Fact about it, you are $200 lighter than you were. And the problem is, now there is no way to find this person who told you to sow this money. And if you do find them, then what they will tell you is, well, you didn't have enough faith. You just didn't believe strong enough. You didn't believe hard enough. That's why you didn't get your blessing. Well, the problem is, that's not what you told me. What you told me was, if I sow it, I'm going to be blessed in day number 7. And here it is, day number 8.
That's good.
We sit back and we search for things. We're looking for things. We're looking for a way to be restored. And the problem is, the things that we're looking for are not the things that are going to get us where we're supposed to be.
All right.
And then we find ourselves in a broken situation. And we've been broken for a while. Some of us are dealing with health issues. Some of us are dealing with things that you don't know if you are living or dying because the doctors can't exactly figure out what's wrong with you. They don't exactly know why it is that you are going through what you're going through, or that why you're dealing with what you're dealing with, because it ought to be a simple fix, but we just can't figure it out right now. All right. And the problem is now, because they can't figure it out, it now weighs on your mind, it weighs on your heart, and you get into a stressful situation because you don't know what's going to happen.
All right.
Brothers and sisters, can I tell you that that's nothing more than a state of brokenness? How about when you're on your job and there are people who really and truly, for whatever reason, just don't like you. They don't like you. You ain't bothered nobody. You ain't said nothing against anybody, but they just, for whatever reason, do not care for you. They do not like you. And so what they do is they try to make your job harder.
All right.
They try to come against you in what you're doing because they want you gone.
All right now.
And because they want you gone, they make things hard for you. And every time you're going forward, then here they come with something else they said, well, you need to do this, or you need to do that, or we're going through this, or we're going through that. And it's making your job so much harder than what it really needs to be. Can I tell you that's a state of brokenness?
All right. All right.
And the problem is when we're in a state of brokenness, what we really want is restoration. And when you're really, really broken, it really doesn't matter how you get restored. You just want to be restored.
All right.
You want things to go back the way that they were. Listen, in our text today, we find Joseph, who is the son of Israel. And Joseph is Israel's favorite son. Israel is also known as Jacob. And you remember Jacob? Jacob was the one who wrestled with the angel all night long. And then the angel changed his name to Israel when he figured out that I'm not going to beat this man because this man wants a blessing. And I got to find a way to bless him because it's daybreak and I got to get back to heaven.
All right.
Because I got to get back to heaven, I'm going to touch him in the hollow of his thigh, and now he has a limp. But you know what? You survived. And because you survived, listen, we got a blessing for you.
All right.
That's who the father of this Joseph is. And Joseph now is in a situation where he is the favorite son of Israel. Though he's the favorite son of Israel, the problem comes in where his brothers are not thoroughly thrilled with this idea.
All right.
They're not exactly happy that he is the favorite son of their father. So much so that they do not like him. Fact about it, they despise him. Not because it was something that Joseph did, but because of who Joseph is.
Come on now.
Brothers and sisters, can I help you here?
Yes, sir.
Listen, people will hate you. People will despise you, not because of what you did to them, but simply because of who you are and who you represent.
All right.
That's how they will begin to hate you. And so now, Joseph's brothers, his own family, can't stand him, hate him, despise him. And then Joseph, had a dream. And Joseph decided he wanted to share the dream with his brothers. And he says, brothers, listen, I had a dream. The dream I had were that we all had sheaves. And in our sheaves, my sheaves stood straight up. And your sheaves gathered around my sheaf and bowed to my sheaf.
All right.
And when they bowed to my sheaf, it was kind of cool. And his brethren are saying, what do you mean? Are you saying that we're going to bow to you?
Yeah.
You have lost your mind. That's not who we are. We're not bowing to you. Then Joseph has another dream, and he tells him in this other dream what happens. And then all of a sudden, not only does Joseph have to tell his brothers and his dad what's going on, but his dad rebuked them and said, listen, are you saying that all of us are going to bow to you?
Yes, sir. Jesus.
No, that ain't how it's going to work. That's not what's going on. But then Israel pondered these things in his mind, which simply says to me that he must have knew that there was something special about Joseph. So now Joseph goes to check on his brothers one day. One day he goes in to check on his brothers, and when he's going in to check on his brothers, then he's looking for them, and he finds them in the city of Dothan. And what happens is when he sees them, he begins to come to them. They see him from afar off, and they said to him, there comes this dreamer.
All right.
Here comes that dreamer. You know how they do. You know how they do. There comes Scott Christian right there. Oh, Lord. I don't even want to deal with him. Here he comes. So let me put on the brave face. Fact about it, let's not put on a brave face. How about we just go ahead and kill him? That's what the brothers said. They said, listen, because he's on his way to us, how about we just gather together and and we just kill him, and then we throw him in a pit, and we say that an animal got to him.
All right.
Come on now.
That's what we're going to do. Yeah, that's the plan. That's the ticket. That's what it sounds like. But then Reuben, the older brother, spoke up and said, listen, hey, wait a minute. You know, that sounds good, but the problem is he is flesh of our flesh. He is our brother, and it is just wrong for us to do this to him. Let's not kill him. Yeah, we'll throw him in a pit, but let's not kill him so we can actually restore him back to our father.
All right.
So then Reuben goes off somewhere. When Reuben goes off, now what happens is that there are some traders. The Midianites are coming by. And as they're coming by, they are coming by because they are slave traders. And so what the brothers decide that they want to do is they want to get together and take Joseph out of the pit and sell him into slavery.
All right.
So what they do is they get together and they sell him for 20 shekels of silver.
All right.
They sell him into slavery.
All right.
And now Joseph finds himself in a broken situation.
All right.
Joseph is in a broken place because understand the freedom that he once enjoyed, he no longer has.
All right.
He's no longer in a state where he can go as he wants to go and come as he wants to come. He is no longer there.
Well,
he is in a state of sheer brokenness.
All right.
Because the biggest thing is he doesn't know what's about to happen to him.
Yeah.
What he does know is he is not in a situation where he wants to be.
right.
But I need you to see something here.
All right.
Even in the midst of your brokenness,
All right.
God will still make a way for you.
All right.
Because God is able. And what happened was Joseph was sold to Potiphar.
All right.
Potiphar bought Joseph. And when Potiphar saw Joseph and everything that Joseph was doing was becoming successful, Potiphar understood that Joseph has the Spirit of the Lord on his life.
All right.
Can I tell you something, brothers and sisters? Listen, you may find yourself in a broken situation.
Right.
You may find yourself in a place where you don't know what's about to happen to you. But don't you ever forget that the Spirit of God is still on your life.
All right.
God still has his hands on you.
Amen.
But watch what happens.
All right.
When Potiphar understood that the Spirit of God was on Joseph and everything that Joseph was doing was actually becoming successful, what Potiphar did, Potiphar took Joseph and made him his right hand.
All right.
Watch this, y'all. Watch this. Joseph went from freedom to slavery.
All right.
And now went from slavery to being restored and now even elevated, because now he's in a better situation than he's ever been in his life.
Yes, sir.
So now he is actually the right hand under Potiphar.
All right.
Potiphar, he is fond of Joseph, so much so that it doesn't even matter what Joseph decides he wants to do. Potiphar doesn't question what Joseph does because he trusts him just like that, because he understands that God is with him. Because he understands that God is with him, he trusts him like this. And understand, the scripture says that Joseph was easy on the eyes.
All right.
He wasn't necessarily a bad-looking brother.
All right.
He was a good-looking dude. He was kind of like me. He's a good-looking dude. Okay. He's not a bad-looking brother.
All right.
And what happens is Potiphar's wife is kind of smitten with Joseph. So much so that every day she is trying to lure Joseph into her boudoir.
Yeah.
Into the because she's trying to lure him in because she wants a taste of what Joseph has to offer.
Well.
And because she keeps doing this, she keeps cornering him. She's like, listen, bruh, just lay with me. Come on. It's all right.
All right.
Ain't nobody got to know. It's fine. And what happens is Joseph speaks up and Joseph says, how is it that your husband has basically given me charge of everything with the exception of you, and you think that this is going to be okay, that he shares everything with me, but then I'm going to share you with him? That's not going to work.
All right.
All right.
Now understand, Joseph here, keep in mind, is in a restored place.
All
All
right.
right.
He was in a place of brokenness, but now he is in a place of restoration. He has been restored and elevated.
All right.
But what happens is now Potiphar's wife finally corners him one day and says, bruh, come on and lay with me.
All right. All right.
Come on and give me what you got. Just come on over. We can make it happen. And Joseph escaped from her out of his coat, and she had his coat while he moved on elsewhere.
All right. All right.
Now there's a setup coming.
All right.
Right.
All right now.
What happens
Come
now,
on now.
Potiphar's wife, she begins to yell, raise her voice, and people begin to come in, and she says, you see, this man was busy trying to lay with me. This man was busy trying to get with me, trying to be with me. And that isn't cool, because that's not who I am. And when Potiphar got home, she told Potiphar the exact same story. Or better yet, she told Potiphar the exact same lie.
All right. All right.
And when she told Potiphar the lie, what happened was Potiphar put Joseph in jail. Potiphar put him in prison. Some people would say now, understand, there were two types of prisons that were going on, because at this point, the prison that Potiphar was put in would be classified as club fed.
All right.
By today's standards.
All right. All right.
This would be the Martha Stewart type of jail.
All right. All right.
This is where he is put in, because people who are close to the king are put in this type of jail. He wasn't in the prison with the hardened criminals.
All right. All right.
But this is where he was. But nonetheless, he was still in prison.
Yeah.
So now what happens is Joseph, who was restored and who was elevated, is now in a situation where he's once again in a broken place.
Come on now.
All right. All right.
He's in a broken situation. And once again, he's going through all kinds of different things in his mind. But watch what happens. Even though he's in a broken place,
All right.
even though he's in a broken situation, the guard found favor with Joseph.
All right.
All right.
Because he saw that there was something different about Joseph.
Yeah.
What he saw was Joseph had the Spirit of God on him.
Come on now.
And what the guard did was the guard put Joseph in charge of everything that was going on in the prison.
All right. All right.
Falling short to him.
All right.
Because he knew there was something about him that no matter what he was doing, God was with him.
All right. All right.
And because God is with him, then I know that this man is blessed.
Yeah.
Brothers and sisters, listen. When you find yourself leaving a place of restoration and going into brokenness,
All right. All right.
what you find is that it still doesn't matter.
Well.
Because just like God was with you before in your broken place,
Come on now.
he's still with you right now in this new broken place.
All right. All right.
So God, the guard gives him favor.
Yes. Yeah.
And while he's there, while Joseph is there, there are these people who are close is what does the dream really mean?
All right.
I don't get it. I don't understand it. But they're talking about it. And Joseph overhears the conversation.
All right. All right.
So Joseph begins to interpret the dream. He tells them, tell me what the dream is. And so they begin to tell him what the dream was. And the first one who told him what the dream was, that was the butler. And what what Joseph told him is, your dream simply means that you're about to be restored back to the king.
Come on.
When the butcher told his story and told his dream, Joseph basically said, I got some sad news for you.
All right, all right.
Because your dream does not end with a happy ending.
Yes,
all right.
But you are going to be hanged by the neck.
Yeah.
And sure enough, the way Joseph told the story, the way he interpreted the dream, it came to pass.
Yes, yes.
Right.
Now, when the butler's about to be restored, Joseph tells the butler, listen, don't you forget about me.
All right now.
I'm still here in prison.
Yeah.
I'm still here in a broken place.
Yes, sir.
Don't you forget about me. Because just like you're restored, I want to be restored too.
Come on.
Yeah.
And I'm here in a broken place.
All right, all right.
And he says, Joseph, I will not forget.
Well,
he goes and he gets restored. And what happens is Joseph is not even a thought on this butler's mind. What happens is it's a full 2 years later.
All right.
And now Pharaoh is having a disturbing dream.
All right.
all right.
He's having problems with what he is dreaming, and he needs someone to interpret this. But what he understands is the soothsayers can't do it.
Well,
all right.
What he understands is the wizards can't do it.
All right.
They can't interpret this dream. I need somebody who can help me understand what this really means.
All right.
And then, you know how the Holy Spirit brings things back to your remembrance?
All right.
Yeah. He touched the butler and said, listen. The butler said, oh, wait a minute. When I was in prison, there's a guy down there by the name of Joseph who helped to interpret my dream and told me I was going to be restored. So Pharaoh sent for Joseph. Joseph went down. Joseph came. He came. They cleaned him up, and he came to Pharaoh. And Pharaoh was saying, I hear that you can interpret dreams.
All right.
I hear that you know what's going on.
All right.
I understand you have a direct connect to God. So I need to understand what this dream means.
All right.
Joseph says, well, tell it to me.
Yeah.
And what happens is the king, Pharaoh, tells him, listen, I'm dreaming that there are 5 plump cows
All right.
that come up out of the pasture.
Yeah.
And then there are 5 lean, pole-looking cows
All right.
that come up out of the pasture.
Yes, sir.
And what happens is the 5 lean cows eat up the 5 plump cows.
All right.
But after they eat the 5 plump cows, they still look poor. They still look lean.
All right.
Something still ain't right. Then, on the other hand, I dreamed that there was some corn stalks, and the corn on the stalks were plump and juicy. And then there was some other corn stalks that were lean and poor and looked bad. But what happened was the lean stalks took advantage and swallowed up the whole stalks, the corn, the good corn. And I don't know what this means.
All right.
come on now.
Joseph says to him, listen, let me tell you what it means.
All right.
You are about to enter into a season of abundance.
All right.
You are about to enter into a major season.
All right.
You're about to come into a season of more than enough.
Yeah.
And while that sounds good,
All right.
what you need to do is you need to start storing things up.
All right.
Because the other part of that dream means that there is going to be a famine in the land.
Yes.
All right.
And you're about to have a real problem
Well,
if you don't have things stored up.
Yeah.
Are you seeing this with me?
Yes, sir.
Joseph tells him what's going on, and Pharaoh is so impressed with Joseph.
All right. All right.
He's so moved by Joseph.
Yeah.
What he does is he makes Joseph his right hand.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes, sir.
But it's even greater than this,
Well.
because he even tells Joseph, the only reason that you have to answer to me is because of paperwork.
All right.
Yes, sir.
All right.
You are in charge.
All right.
I give you command. I give you authority.
All right.
In other words, I am restoring and elevating you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Brothers and sisters, listen. I want you to pay attention to what has happened. Joseph sold into slavery.
All right.
All right.
Moved into a broken place.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then was moved to Potiphar's house.
Well.
Potiphar restores him and elevates him.
Yes,
All
sir.
right.
Then Joseph moves from Potiphar's house into another broken place.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now, when he gets out of this broken place,
Well.
he moves from the broken place to restoration and even higher elevation.
All right. All right.
Can I tell you what that means? Don't worry about it that you're in a broken place.
Well.
Don't worry that you're in a broken situation.
Yeah.
Because the problem is when you're in a broken place,
Come on now.
this gives God time to work on your behalf.
All right.
This gives God time to work for you. And what's going to happen is when you are restored,
Yes.
not if you were restored, but when you are restored,
Yeah.
God will elevate you.
Yes, sir.
You are not going to be elevated just the one time, but He's going to elevate you to the top.
All right. All right.
Oh, brothers and sisters, you want to know why you're dealing with stuff.
All right.
You want to know why you're going through.
Well.
You want to understand why am I in this broken situation.
All right.
The good news is it's not about you.
All right.
It's about God.
Yeah.
And so that God can get glory out of you.
All right.
But watch what happens here. Let me cut across the field. Otherwise, I'll hold you too long.
Come on now.
What happens now is the Pharaoh has stored up during the abundant years.
All right. All right now.
He has done nothing but stock shelves in his storehouse.
Yeah.
That's what he has done, and now it is the famine.
Yeah.
It is the lean years.
All right.
And here we are now in the lean time.
Yes, sir.
And it has gotten so bad now that now Joseph's family,
Well.
you remember Israel, his father,
Yes.
and his brothers
All right.
are now on hard times.
All right.
They're now dealing with bad situations.
Yeah.
They need food and they need it like yesterday. So what they do is they talk to the father, they talk to Israel, and he said, listen, go and buy some food.
All right. All right.
Go buy food, go buy grain, and bring it back to us. Because there's no sense in us dying like this.
All right.
But go get us some grain
Yes, sir.
and bring it on back.
All right.
So what happens is now they go and they have to encounter the Lord over all of Egypt.
All right. All
His
right.
name is Joseph.
Yeah.
And because they got to now encounter Joseph,
Yes, sir.
they hadn't seen Joseph for many years and they don't know who Joseph is.
All right.
And so now they come to him and they say, Lord, listen, we are having trouble.
Come on
All
now.
right.
We're having
Yeah.
All right.
And Joseph says to them, listen, I can help you.
Yeah.
You come to the right man.
All right. All
That's
right.
what I can do for you.
All right.
Because understand, remember, they don't know who Joseph is.
All right. All
But
right.
Joseph knows who they are.
Yeah.
And because Joseph knows who they are, Joseph decides to take them through the ringer just a little bit.
All right.
Joseph has them doing many different things.
All right.
He's sending them back and forth and back and forth many different times. And they are just to the point where, listen, if we don't get food, we're going to die.
All right. All right.
Joseph sends them back with food one time,
Yeah.
but says, listen, bring your youngest brother back with you.
All right.
When you come back, you know, bring him back with you, or you won't see me no more.
All right.
So
All right.
Joseph sends them back and forth many different times. But here is where I need you to go, because I'm trying to cut across the field. Here's why I need you to understand when they came back the last time.
All right.
When they got back the last time,
All right.
Joseph decides to reveal who he is.
All right. All right.
Joseph tells them, listen, I am Joseph. I am your brother.
Yeah.
I am my father's son. That's who I am.
All right.
And I'm here because I am the Lord over all of Egypt.
Yeah.
And what I can do for you is I can restore you to a higher place.
Yes, sir.
All right. Then. All
At
right.
first they didn't believe him.
Well,
They didn't understand. They didn't understand. They didn't believe it. It didn't make sense to him. How can you be at this level?
All right. All
We
right.
sold you into slavery.
Yeah.
We know your demise.
Yeah.
We know what's supposed to happen to you. How did you get here?
All right.
great.
Woo!
Great.
Listen, brothers and sisters, when you are restored, there are people that will not understand.
All right.
The ones that laid the traps for you.
Yeah.
They won't understand how you got here.
All right.
I know what your demise was supposed to be.
Yeah.
But I don't understand how you made it here.
All right. All
But
right.
it's nothing more than the glory of God.
Yeah.
And God giving restoration.
All right.
Listen. Here's the thing. I need you to see this. I need you to see this. Listen. This is what you look like to most people. You're just ordinary. You're just plain. Nothing really is special about you. There's nothing spectacular about you. There's nothing going on. I'm overlooking you for that promotion because you ain't nobody.
Well,
I'm overlooking you for the things that would be better for you because you ain't really nobody.
well,
This is what you're looking at. And now you have to enter into a state of brokenness. And here you are in a state of brokenness. And you look like just everybody else. Ain't nothing special about you. You just look like everybody else. But watch what happens when you become broken.
all right.
When you become broken,
Yes, sir.
then you begin to shine.
Oh,
And when you begin to shine, you begin to light up. And then people can see that there's something different about you. Because now you're shining. Now I can see that there's something great about what you got going on. And I want to be a part of what you have. There you go. Sometimes you just need to be broken. Because when you're broken, then you understand where God is trying to take you. Because when you are broken, You got to be broken
All right.
to be restored.
Yes, God.
If you've never been broken, you can never be restored.
That's good stuff.
If you've never been broken, you can never be elevated. Because when you are elevated, this is where God gets the glory.
All right.
From your brokenness. Everybody standing on your feet. Standing on your feet. This is a time where it's probably the most sacred part of the service. This is decision time. This is a time where you get to make up your mind that I want to be a part of the restored kingdom. I want to be a part of the restoration. Listen, here's the truth of the matter. You got two choices when you die, and you're going to die. Your choices are heaven or hell.
All right.
Don't you believe for one instance these people that go around and tell you hell isn't real. Hell is very real. But so is heaven. And you have an opportunity to let your life be a life where God can be pleased. This is the time for you to make Jesus your choice. This is the time for you to enter into kingdom citizenship. So listen, this is a threefold invitation. Your first invitation is to kingdom citizenship. This is the time when you can say, God, I want to be part of what you got going on.
Yes.
Lord, I want to be restored so that you can get the glory. That's your first invitation. Your second invitation, listen, you may have kingdom citizenship under control. That's awesome. Congratulations. But you need a place to work out your own soul salvation. Listen, ain't no better church in all of Covington, Georgia than the Globe. I'm just going to tell you.
All right.
Because we will love you, we will care for you, and we will help you get where God is trying to take you.
All right.
Then your third invitation. Listen, you may be in a place of brokenness right now.
All right.
You may not have even realized why you were broken.
All right.
But now you understand that you are broken so God can restore you and elevate you. Listen, you may need prayer at this time. That's fine. And if you fall into any one of those three categories, you need to make your way to the altar right now.
All right. All right.
Because we can take care of this, because we know God and we can talk to him on your behalf. We know him and we love for you to be a part of the kingdom. We'd love for you to be a part of what we have going on. If you fit in there, come on through. We got you, then we got time. But if you're good, you can go ahead and take your seat right now. Go ahead and take your seats if you are fine. Amen.
Amen.
God bless you.
All right.
Were you blessed by the word today?
Amen.
Were you blessed by the word today? Listen, it's offering time. Put your hands together for offering. It's offering time. We love it when we're able to give. We give because God gives to us every single day. Every day he gives us new mercies. Every day that you are able to open up your eyes and see and take breath in your body, God is giving to you. So listen. If in fact you're watching us online and you want to give unto this ministry, listen, visit our website, www.whatistheglobe.com. That's www.whatistheglobe.com, and click on online giving, and we can receive your donations safely.